of ancient civilization. Um, I'll just read from my book because this all the stuff is in here. I read from Hey God. Just go to which chapter? And this is an unedited thing here. This is an unedited thing. Okay, 138. Unedited. Come on. Yep. It's so okay. Okay. So the Christian origins of civilization are very simple. Rome appropriated Christianity about, well, I'd say 16 to 1800 years ago because it was a battle. They were trying to kill off all the Gnostics and all the non-Roman churches, and so they kind of succeeded about 1600 years ago. So Christianity, as people know it now, is only about 1600 years old. Think about the Second Council of Nicaea. Well, first and Second Council of Nicaea. That's kind of where this version of Christianity came about. But Ethiopian Christianity is 1800 years old. Yeah, we'll call it that. 1800 years old. It goes back to the New Testament time period. So, Christian origins of civilization, as a coherent, comprehensive Christian church, we're going to appear more Promethean, more Luciferian, more pagan than the Roman churches. The Roman churches want you to pray to the sky ghost and fillet the Jesus, right? The magic man Jesus. And nobody's ever met Jesus. Jesus, if he, which he, we don't believe that he exists. There's not enough evidence to support a real literal Jesus. Um, we don't believe that he existed as Christians because that's not necessary for Christianity. That's necessary for Roman Christianity. But for ancient Christianity, pre-Roman Christianity that goes back 10, 20,000 years or more, um, the idea was, how can you identify the exceptional within the self? And is that exceptional apex self most exemplified within the individual? If it is, which individuals have the highest concentration of that exceptional human ability? And those are the individuals that became the pharaohs, the Candaces, the kings, queens, lords, Incas, aristocrats, whatever, Viracochas of the world. And they created what modern people refer to as ancient civilization. So you'll notice that there are a lot of features that are similar, megalithic buildings and cyclopean architecture and, things that just baffle the minds of modern people. This was done by ancient Christians, not Roman people that pray to a fake Jesus that doesn't exist, has never existed, but individuals who were christened, awakened, anointed, awakened, right? They had tapped into their apex nature and had found a way to bring that nature into reality. And so they created heaven on earth, paradise, Eden, the golden age. And we have the ability to do the same. And so the focus of this church is the creation of civilization. How do we do it? Through coherent satisfaction. So I was going to try and find a segment in the book to really exemplify this. But it's better to read Gods of the Aquarian Age. Once the church gives full permission for that to get released, it will get released. Okay. So millennia ago, wise women and men recognized the power of the human intellect, imagination, and will. This view makes sense when you consider that the great leaps that humanity made between 10 and 5,000 or 5,500 years ago, 10,000 and 5,500 years ago, seems to resemble massive leaps. I didn't read that right, so I'm trying to bullshit my way into the next sentence. So it seems that the ancient people understood something about human ingenuity that modern people have forgotten. Modern researchers are baffled by the accomplishments of the ancients because we are unable to understand or replicate them with our level of sophistication today. So perhaps our bewilderment is because we fall far behind their level of sophistication, especially that which produced those monumental achievements. Think about the pyramids, Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, Pumapunku, the Parthenon, the Temple to Jupiter, uh, anti-Cathera mechanism, all of the Kailasa temple, everything all around the world. Ganang Padang, Nan Madol, Angkor Wat, the pyramids in China, the pyramids in Bosnia. Think about all of those ancient structures, the Nazca lines. Ancient people knew something about life that modern people have forgotten. So if you do a Google search of enigmatic ruins, you'll find things like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, Baalbek in Lebanon, Pumapunku in Bolivia, Nan Madol in the South Pacific, Anang Padang in Indonesia, the origin of my name, the origin of part of my cultural ancestry. Yanmin Shan Quarry in China, which is mind blowing. Look it up, Yanmin Shan. Also look up the mummy of Lady Di. The most impressive mummy ever found was found in China. So, of course, the pyramid temple complexes in Egypt, where I went for my birthday a couple of years ago. This list that I provided is minimal. It's very limited because the discoveries are compounding every single day. So new discoveries resurface each year. Once you filter through all of the ancient alien bullshit, you'll actually realize that our primordial history is missing, like a knowledge of our real selves, something we lost many, many millennia ago. So there was an exceptional version of humanity that is gone now. It doesn't exist. Most people are just monkey people at best. And that's not insulting the people, that's insulting the monkeys. Because the monkeys are apex for themselves. Most people are not that. So the countless other mysteries that reveal a significant gap in our collective memory are what our church is aware of and we don't hide from. We're very consciously amplifying those awarenesses. Let's see here. Hello, hello. So, uh, yeah, there we go. So, through ancient marvels, though ancient marvels inspire our imagination, they demand that we awaken the genius within us that inspired our ancestors to create them. What is possible once we reawaken our ability and revise our world accordingly will blow your mind. So, we should create a sophisticated and harmonious civilization with this awareness. And so, Christians created all of the ancient civilization because Christians were not believers. Christians were not followers of some sky phantom or a fantasy man that doesn't exist. Christians were individuals who had awakened their divine ability and operated in the world with that divine ability and created exceptional beauty, exceptional coherence in the world at large. And so that's the third video that has been waiting. Let's see, we're at 8 minutes and it's getting warm out here. And all these little adorable children walking by. Some of them are like little teenagers. They're so cute. All right. All right. So, what else do I want to read? Do I want to read anything else? Let me see if there's some good questions. Now, so anyway, let me read this because this will be good. All right. So this is from chapter 10, A New Beginning to Get Your Lost Years Back. You don't have to wait anymore to get your power back, so to speak. You don't have to lose your drive, your sense of direction or determination. You are still alive and sentient. This is for those of you who may be older and may be noticing, like, oh man, my life isn't where I want it to be. I should have done this or that or whatever. You can and must alter your course if it leads away from your optimal path or hides your optimal self. Instead of perpetually outsourcing our ability, we must now rely upon our own creative intelligence. There's a book, and by the way, the Bible is allegorical. It's not literal. Nothing in the Bible is literal. It's all allegory. It's all the story of the self. It's all cultivation of the God within. And so there's a verse in the book of Joel, in the second chapter, 20th verse, and it says, I'll restore unto you the years the locusts have eaten. All right. And it ends that verse by saying, I infested you. with these pestilences, with these infestations, right? So that for whatever reason, right? And this is the self talking, it's not God, it's the self talking, right? It's not an external force, is what I'm saying, okay? So the self is God and God is the self. So the one speaking in this verse is the conscious current in you. It is the inner being that puts you back on your optimal path. It doesn't do this as an outside power, but as an inner process. And that's exactly what the word Yahweh means. It actually means process. The word Yahweh means process. So it is personified as the Lord in the Old Testament. Ancient Near Eastern people who wrote these words down didn't see God as someone out there in the sky intervening in human affairs. They understood that God was not merely a being, but a process, a pattern, and a current flowing in the world and manifesting as human self-awareness or being. And if you don't believe that, it's not true. It is verifiable, it is testable, and you can do your own research. And what I would encourage you to do is I'm looking because all this stuff is referenced. What you want to do is go to the you want to go to the Strong's Concordance, right? And I will give you it for those of you who care, because it's going to be released later, so people will get to look this up later on. So I am going to give you the actual, because everything we say here is verifiable, testable, evidence-based. If I present something that is not evidence-based, or it seems to be malarkey, I'll do my best to say, this is speculation. This is something that I am just speculating about. So I'll do the very best I can to ensure that I stay honest and coherent in that way. Let's see. Okay. All right. So the Strong's Hebrew for Yahweh, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, is the proper noun of God of Israel. Strong's Hebrew 1933b, Hava or Haya. That means to become. In Strong's Hebrew 1961. See Walton's Ancient Near Eastern Thought in the Old Testament, page 87 to 88. It goes into more detail about how ancient people understood Yahweh, Elohim, El, all these things. The Jews are a European invention. The Hebrews and the Israelites and Judeans, all those Levantine peoples, they were basically pagans. Not like kind of, sort of, like really pagan. So they sacrificed to Astarte, and they adopted the gods of Babylonians and Chaldeans and all these. And of course, the Bible rails against them, but the Bible doesn't really care, honestly. It's just the story, right? But they adopted a lot of these ancient gods and these ancient ideas, and that's how we got some of these ideas. And so a lot of people in the modern world think when they think Christian, they think Sky Phantom believing, 6,000-year-old Earth, Noah's flood, 100 million animals fit on one tiny boat. And that's talking snakes. That's all incoherent, right? Any adult with the reasoning faculty and a strong logical sense would say, well, I've never seen a snake talk. Why? Because snakes don't have vocal cords like humans. They don't have tongues, lips, or teeth like humans, and therefore cannot vocalize the way that humans do. Okay, so what is the Bible saying here? An intelligent adult would say, well, let me do a deeper dive and find out what the Bible is actually saying here. There was never a talking snake, ever, anywhere in the Bible. Oh, but we read Genesis, it says talking snake. No, it doesn't. It says the serpent. And so you go back to the Hebrew origin of that word. It's the nachash. Nachash. What is that word? That word has many meanings. It refers to a person who is cunning, brilliant, tricky, very smart. That's what it means. And so that story is telling us about how the inner self was basically deceived by a cunning or an intelligent being of some sort. It's all the story of the self. And by the way, the Nakash also refers to occult practices, occult teachings, that sort of thing. So it's not just a snake on the ground. And if that had been translated, then it would have been more clear and people would have had a much better understanding. And so it's anyway, it's beautiful. But anyway, if you want to see the real origin of the word Yahweh, look up Strong's Hebrew reference number 3068, 3068, and then Strong's Hebrew 1933b, so 1933b. And you'll find that breakdown. The word Yahweh refers to process, becoming, pattern, coherent, current, being, getting. So it's a verb, noun sort of a thing. Okay. So anyway, our self-awareness uses creative intelligence, reason, and imagination to navigate reality. We refine that over time and improve that in order to access what we desire. This is integral to who and what we are as sentient human beings. This book gives you permission to remember and cultivate that. So anyway, get a free copy. Oh, not a free copy, but free segment online. And then apply what you find in it and see if it serves you. So anyway, that's what I'd say about that. Christianity is the basis of all civilization, ancient civilization, real civilization. Humans have not been civilized for at least 6 to 10,000 years, perhaps longer. I say as 12 to 24,000 years, but we'll call it 6 to 10,000 years. Humans have not been civilized. And this church, its focus is to reactivate, restore civilization, and using the Christian symbolism in the Bible and its allegorical structure. It starts with you, the individual. Civilization does not unfold from me going out and saving the world. There's nothing I can do for the world. The world is lost. It's dead. It's stupid. It doesn't matter. It works only if I make my life better, if I make my life exceptional, if I make my life good. And I make my life good by making these videos. I enjoy making them. I like sharing this with people, and I get something from it. And so I have other, of course, things that are more important that I need to be doing that I do. And so with that said, stay Apex. Thank you, by the way. Yes, the shining one. Exactly. That's a good one. I'll highlight that. All right. Thank you. Nachash, you got it. NHS, Nachash. All right. Thank you for that, Russ Day 81. I think I've seen you before. Anyway, stay Apex, y'all.